Hello, Sanibonani, welcome back to another episode. Thenjiwe Comedy, Thenjiwe Talk Show, Quarantine Diaries, where we are in conversation with some of our favorite people, with our friends. But first of all, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for all the support that you have given me, for all the support that you are giving the channel. I really appreciate you. We are on our way to 95,000 YouTube subscribers. And if you have not subscribed, please do subscribe. Let us hit 100,000 before the end of the month. Let us push and try and get there, guys. I really appreciate you. You have made my lockdown very, very nice and very interesting. And as you come in, please do let us know where you are watching from. Let us know where you are from so that we have an idea of who we have. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys for watching. And if you are watching us from Facebook, I do appreciate you, but I would really, really be happy if you could join us on YouTube, because like I have explained before, we are trying to grow the numbers on YouTube. And on YouTube, when we have more numbers, we are able to monetize the channel and make some money from the work that we do. And also, I do have over 1,000 videos on my YouTube channel. Please do check it out, and I'm sure you'll find a video that you like, a video that you haven't seen, and some of your old favorite videos of Thenjiwe. And I really love you and appreciate you guys. Hey, Gau, how are you? David Gau, you owe us a video. Yesterday we waited, but yeah, you owe us a video. Last night we were there waiting for you. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe to David Gau. He does a show as well on YouTube. As his is at 10 p.m. every evening. Very, very interesting. Please do make sure that you subscribe. And like I always say, YouTube is not a relationship. You can subscribe to more than one person. You can subscribe to all of us. You can subscribe to a lot of people. And today we have one of my favorite persons, one of my favorite people from South Africa. He is also a laugh technician. He is a very, very good friend of mine. And yeah, Samari, a lot of you know him. He is an award-winning comedian. So David Gau says the StreamYard screwed him. Yes, sometimes these things are not so reliable, and we can't really always blame them, because there are so many people who are now relying on the same services to be online because of lockdown. Everyone is working from home. So please, he says he is back on Monday, which is tomorrow, it's Monday to Saturday, 10 p.m. So there will be no show tonight, but on Monday to Saturday. Please do check out his channel at David. I will get a link to his channel, and so that you can subscribe. Asibingelele, our guest, Usamari. Yes. How are you, my friend? Long time. I've missed you.
It's just hanging. I'll say, command you are overseas. You are quarantining that other side of the country. So Tina Sase Corner.
But I even miss you online. What happened to you?
No,
you know,
like
you entertain me.
No, like as in I think now, because like you were saying now with him, everyone is quarantining and most people are online. So all these platforms are overcrowded. So you can't see me now because of there's a lot of content. So we can't see each other because of like you hardly ever come across someone else's post, because there's a lot of people posting at the same time, from artists, from other people, from other creators. So it's just a lot.
It is so true. And how has lockdown been treating you?
Come again?
How has lockdown been treating you?
Like, I'll be honest with you. For me, it was just okay. The fact that obviously as artists now, we had been affected decimally so, but then on the positive side, I was like, you know what, at this point in time, I will just, just do what I've always did, just keep posting my videos and just being good, because if I allow the whole social pressure to get on me, then you won't be able to be creative. So it is under these conditions when your gift and talent is tested. So you must continue being you, and people need you the most, especially during these difficult times. So for me, it was just about, you know what, it's okay. Let me just rest and let things be the way they are, and just keep pushing.
You are always there helping us, because I know you are very active on social media. And guys, if you subscribe to Summary, please subscribe to his YouTube channel, as well as follow him on social media platforms. He's very active on Instagram, and he's always got something, either an opinion in a very funny way. And that's what I like about you. You are not afraid to say what you think.
Yeah, I in as much as it gets us into like in trouble, but it is the very same thing that will limit you, Thenjiwe, to be creative. No, not that we should be blatantly abusive or discriminative or tribalistic. No, like if you find humor in something and your intentions are humor, just do it. But obviously, that's just our job. It always gets us into trouble because of those kind of things.
I always look at in a good joke, there's got to be a victim. In any good joke, there's gonna be a victim.
Yes. So
and
either way,
born out of tragedy. Because it's funny how people will have a problem when you talk about, or you have a joke, say about fat people, but they're fine if you have a joke about the president. If you have a joke about nurses, then nurses suddenly become different. Last week you were laughing when I was saying a joke about the president. Really? Does it really mean you are disrespectful when you say a joke about certain people?
Yes. So which means you tolerate it when it's about someone else. It's funny when people say like Amazon or like but if someone says why blah 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 blah, then it becomes an issue. If someone says it's an issue. If you're gonna say vendor people, they did this, like, but if someone says Malema is stupid or Jacob Zuma that is funny.
I subscribed to the summary, and you reminded him of back in school when we used to have to write a summary. What do people say about your name? Because your name is not a Do people ever make fun of you, of your name, summary, before you tell where it comes from?
They do a lot of times, but because I'm on the receiving side, and sometimes I'm the one that's making fun of other people. I understand that, like, sometimes, man, like, if someone's intentions are not to harm you, don't get mad, So when someone is making fun of my name, it's because it is unusual to them, firstly. Secondly, obviously, they've never heard of that name. Oh, wow, somebody, I know this name from, like, from school or whatever, blah, and they laugh, and then I just let it be. But they definitely do.
Where does the name come from? Because if you were short, I would say because you are short and you are just a summary, and but you are quite tall. Where does the name summary come from? And is it your real? Is it on your ID book?
It was supposed to be, but unfortunately they didn't put it there. So, but then I got it at church. They like this is some because you know what? There was this other time, the church a long time ago. There was like a competition, and there were about I think 11 contestants, and then I was the last one. So they all did different talents, or they had different talents. They performed different things. Some did poetry, music, some played drums, some played guitars, and I had no clue whatsoever what to do. So the only thing that I did was, okay, I'm going to summarize everything that they did. I'm going to summarize it, and so I started with the first person that did poetry. I did poetry, and then the second one that sang, I sang. Then as people started to laugh out loud so much, then the whole character just came out, and then I was mixing the two, like imitating those people and being funny, and then that's how the whole thing then came about.
And you are an award-winning comedian. Congratulations. And you've won some of the biggest awards in the country. How has that helped you? How has that helped your career as a comedian?
I don't like, can I be honest?
First of all, please let us tell the people which awards we are talking about.
Okay. So, him or who?
It's you. It's your story. Okay. So you take over. You take over.
Okay. In 2016, I won the Audience Choice Award, Comics Choice Award, category Audience Choice Award. 2017, Mzansi Viewers Choice Awards, the DSTV Viewers Choice Award. I won the Best Comedian of the Year. Then in 2019, at the SATMAS, I won the Best Indigenous Comedian. So, to be honest with you, I hope this thing won't sound bad or negative or whatever. I'm just going to be honest with you. I still believe, Mina Thenjiwe, what makes you, it's your, like, it's every effort that you put in, your hard work, your relationships with other artists and promoters that you work with, and how much do you promote your work? How much do you put your content out there, and how are people receiving you? So for me, awards are just awards, and I'm thankful. Not that I'm not. I'm thankful because why? It showed that people really supported me. It shows that really people know about my work. They trust my work. They support my work. They are behind me. They are there for me. Other than that, they are just trophies. Oh, and obviously the little money that you get. So for me, it's just about that. Or should I repeat?
I heard everything. I just wanted to give you the whole screen so that we can hear everything that you were talking about. And yeah, so let me just show the award so that people know, because these were very happy moments. This was the happy. Comics Choice.
Yeah, the first
and this one. Is the only awards in the Comics Choice where it's the audience that votes to determine who's gonna win. So it was the people who spoke. And this is the DSTV.
Yeah.
And here they are, both of them. I couldn't get the Satma one.
Oh, I haven't uploaded that one. I think I did, but once. I think I did, because you know what, Thenjiwe? For me, that's why all the awards that I was blessed to win or that I won were all determined by the audience.
Yes.
The audience voted. That's it, you know. So for me, it was about checking, just to weigh your I'd say to scale where you are as a growing artist myself, or as a growing brand. Do people trust this product? Do people believe in this product? So for me, that was all about me taking part in the awards. Other than that, it has for me, it has nothing to do with status, because you can have awards and still not be the guy, still not be booked, still not be that funny, you know. So for me, it was just to scale how far I've come as a brand, and how do people receive me? Do people trust me enough to use their monies at the comfort of their homes and buy whether 100 rand airtime and vote for me? So it was just to scale and see how far I've come as a growing artist.
Remember when we first started comedy? I don't know what's happening to the sound, so I'm going to have to mute you while I say something, and then mute myself when you kuluma. Remember when we first started, there was this big thing about you have to speak English to be mainstream. You have to be an English comedian. And then, but now you look back and you look at the people, because you do English, yes, but you do a lot of vernac comedy. Which is same to me. I usually do English when I'm outside the country. I do some shows in English in South Africa, but we are vernac comedians. We can perform in our home languages. And when you look at the numbers now, the vernac comedies, they have the biggest numbers. They have very, very big numbers. Where do you think South African comedy is going? And do you think one still needs to be an English-speaking comedian to be regarded as a mainstream comedian?
No. You see, okay, this is my take on this thing, Thenjiwe. And for me, and this is what hurts me the most, and I know like this will sound political or what, as Black people, we are slowly but surely leaving or neglecting our languages or who we are as people. And not from comedy side, just look at this thing from a broader sense. As soon as our sisters and our family members and everybody starts to make money, obviously maybe they say they move to the suburbs or to the middle class area, or even in the whole neighborhood, then they take their kids to model C schools or multiracial schools. Their kids don't speak vernac. Like I mean Black to Black parent. They don't speak vernac at all. And people have their own reasons. Some know these kids, they have to know this language so that it will help them to be successful one day, blah, 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 and all kinds of things. But we don't speak our languages because we attach or associate English with being cool, or people will love you, or people will look at you as, wow, success. Now, it goes to the comedy side. When people do comedy, like look at how broad this thing is, not only in comedy, the whole Black race, the whole Black people in this whole country, they are neglecting the languages. Like in your whole yard, people speak English. There's nothing wrong with English. Let us get it straight. Me and you now are speaking English because you have an international audience as well. We have friends across the country, outside, and other, yes, because we are conversing with this language. But there's a difference between, like, look right now, Thenjiwe. You speak, Zulu like nobody's business. But right now you are in the States, you can go anywhere else. The problem is not knowing English. And this is one thing Black people always defend and they fight for. The problem is not knowing English or saying you hate English. No. Learn the language, know it like I know Zulu, Zulu like that does not mean I've neglected like Sotho. What I understand. So it's a Black thing. We are so westernized to a point whereby anything that is us, it's downtrodden. It is like it seems as it doesn't have value. So it goes to comedy. Now we are doing comedy, and even in comedy, these groups, they make you feel like they'll go to you like, dude, you can, like, the neck won't take you anywhere. You'll just be a Black comedian, but you can travel the whole world. You can be like, if you can focus on English, you can travel the world. You can be an international comedian. It's fine. Why should everyone be an international comedian? Those who can, let them be. But for those that will serve their people, let them serve their people and don't look down on them. So look now, I mean, we are, Thenjiwe, right now in Lesotho, for example, your audience is loyal to you because you kill them so hard. You kill them so hard because your skits, all your skits, especially like I'm a skits like they are unmatched, and understand. So if someone is good with English and is Black, fine, brother, do that, but don't look at Thenjiwe as if not to Thenjiwe. Like, just because when you performed overseas and Mashabela hasn't performed overseas, it does not devalue who Mashabela is.
That is just so powerful, and it can be so embarrassing when you are in a supermarket in South Africa and you find a parent who, number one, speaks broken English, communicating with a 4-year-old in English because her 4-year-old doesn't speak Zulu. Sometimes you hear them even saying, Zulu is a dirty language. And when you travel the world, when you go to France, the French are speaking French. When you go to Germany, they're speaking their language. English is not a measure of intelligence. It's just a language to communicate. It's good to know it, to be able to communicate with the world. It doesn't put money into your bank account. Those days are gone. There are homeless, unemployed English people in Britain who speak English as a home language, who speak very good English. Sometimes I want to collect them and go to South Africa and open an employment agency, or just put them as managers. Because even when it comes to trusting each other, especially in positions of management, why as Black people do we behave a certain way once there's umlungu phakathi? But when it's just us, when it's summary, we want to question, how can summary be managed? But any white person can wake up tomorrow and say, I'm now a comedy management company. Nobody will question their credentials. Nobody will question what they know about comedy. Nobody will even question why we don't see them coming to watch comedy shows. But when Summary, who's been doing comedy and has, let's just maybe use David Cow as an example, Black people will question, how come he's a manager now? How come he's this? But when it's a white person, with no, this person will not even qualify to be employed at Pick and Pay. They wake up, they become a manager. Everyone believes them. What is wrong with us as Black people, especially Black people of South Africa?
Thenjiwe, like I said, and I will go back again from that statement that I've made. black people, they hate this conversation so much. They hate this. Like I want to imagine if Thenjiwe siyekele sikhethe sichoose ukukhulisa abantwana bethu the way sifuna ngakhona. If uthi umntana uzokhuluma isilungu uzosikhuluma asinandaba because yafana lesizulu lesi thina senzileni because umzulu manje but then kuyafana asengilanga next. So manje ke umntana wethu ngangifuni akhule njengami, ngifuna umntana asazi lesingisi lesi mhlambe sizomfaka. Black people, Thenjiwe, it's throughout history, they associate. There's this term called the bourgeoisie. The bourgeoisie are those classy people that back in the days, they used like your middle class people, they used to dress smart, a suit and have like money. So when that happened in South Africa, back in the days, when the British came here, they started with those, the black people, they associated with those white people. They were the bourgeoisies. Those black people, they were the classy black people, the bourgeoisies. So the bourgeoisies, it started from the 1910. Those black people, because the white men wanted to take over the whole of South Africa. Remember, it was the first it was the British who took over it, and then they shared this country with the Afrikaners. So the time it was the British, those black people, they've partnered with, or they worked together with the British. So they were the bourgeoisies, the classic black people that could speak English. Understand? So those black people, they were used by white people to babatshele ukuthi okay lana kuse Natala, and then Tina will help. It's like when a white person employs you to spy on your employees because they want to know what are people saying. So they had those black people, and those black people basbona bangono to black people, those that lived in the villages, because bona they were associated with those whites. Now it started from there. So these black people, they are the ones that were taken to those universities. That's why if all the black people, or 80% of them, that were rich back in the days until now, they were rich because of they associated themselves with the white people. They worked with the white people in the expense of the blacks. So they partnered. After partnering, those black people that started to live in the suburbs, so they saw as the normal black person as uneducated. So they went to Fort Hare or in universities across. So those black people, that thing there, it grew to the next generation, which means once wow, then it spread across this whole country. That's why a black man from 1900 until the Afrikaners, they partnered with the British to own the country, because they say, my brother, I'm white, you are white. Let us be together and share this country. So they shared. The time the British, they've a joint venture with the Afrikaners, Bayega, the black people, the black bourgeoisie. That's why when those black bourgeoisies were left, baqala ama-party, that's when political parties. Actually, from that moment, because they felt betrayed with these people, they used us. So now we will fight back. Then nama ANC, then we were, because they felt betrayed with these people. We were together. Now they are working with the other people. So the British worked with the Dutch. Then Bayera, the black bourgeoisies. Then the black bourgeoisies now by political parties, so that blah 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 blah. they messed up from them, and it grew. Namanje, black people, they associate whiteness with success. That's why the very same black people. I used to work. I know black people at work, they respect the white person more than the black person, because why? It's the black bourgeoisies.
Yeah, that is so deep. Also, David, now comedians all over the world perform in their mother tongue or that country's official language. That is so true. Sometimes you go to places where you're performing with white people and they're all performing in that country's official language or most common language of that country. And you are the only one who has to perform in English because obviously you don't understand the language in that country. But we have become so accommodative that even our president, when he addresses the nation, he chooses a language that's accommodates the minority in the country, not the majority. So I think it's something that we really have to work on. Maybe we needed counseling after apartheid. I still really believe that. I believe we needed some sort of counseling. And guys, like I said before, please do subscribe to David Gao. Here is a link to his YouTube channel. Please do make sure. And I want to ask you about something, because a lot of people don't believe it when we come here as comedians and we are talking about serious issues. So much so that they forget that even when we do it during our comedy, we do address serious issues. It's just that we're addressing them in a very funny and light manner. As Samar, please tell us about your education, because people always get shocked when I tell them comedians are educated people. People think comedians are just people we go to a ship-in, say this one is funny, come and perform. Please take us through your academic journey.
Going there, Yasmin. Like I don't like going through that journey because I embrace the comedy journey so much that it is close to my heart, and that is why people think that we just because we never touch base on that thing. That's how much we feel comedy. That's how much we love this acting, because it is embedded deep in our souls to a point whereby we don't even mention Thenjiwe Wednesday law school, Wednesday. We don't even. That's how much we are in. Like that's how deep we are in this comedy thing. Oh yeah, man! I went to university. I don't like this company. I went to university, and then I studied logistics management. I have certificates for after completing my qualification. Like I did freight handling, I did freight forwarding, and then I did logistics as a course UJ for 4 years? For 4 years, I think, if not 3 years, and I graduated, now I'm to be down, but I've never, since then, it was just because what was in my mind up to today until I died, it's comedy. So we are so humble that we even let people look down on us because we just want to be comedians. We just want to be normal. That's why for us it's hard for us to people it's actually hard for us when people see us as celebrities. Like we're like celebrity, and like hey, and when people go crazy, you are still stunned because you still see yourself as just Thenjiwe. If not so, then you would brag about qualifications, your house, things that you have, and whatnot. But it's not in us as a natural gifted comedian. You wouldn't even think about those things. What's in your mind? If I could see people laughing, that's what clicks here in your mind every single day, every moment. You wish imagine I post this video and people laugh and it reaches 500,000 views or 1 million views. That's what you think about. The rest is history. So we are educated and we know what we are doing. We just don't wanna focus on that other side of things.
Yeah, but guys, education is very important, especially in a Black family. It goes back to what we were taught. So many Black people, not just Black people, so many people that I know, go to school and they are working so hard to get an A. They go to Oxford, they go to Harvard, they go to the top unis to get all A's so that they can go and work for someone who is a dropout. And for so long as Africans, we've been working too hard. We need to start working smart. But as an African child, it's important to graduate. For that fault or for your parents to have a room divide. They don't care if you work afterwards. They don't care what happens. As long as your parents, that's all they want. That photo to put, that ceremony to have, to invite the neighbors to say, because some of us, we're still the first ones in our families that are having graduations. We're still the first ones in our families to go to university, some to even have matric. So it's still very important. But do you think we still need to be forcing our children to go to university in 2020 and beyond? Or are there better ways for people to make money? Because the reason we go to uni is to get a good job and make money. Is education still such a necessity in 2020 and beyond?
Okay, this is my take. And I put it this way. I think knowledge, because when I say education, I'd rather put it this way. I think what we need to teach our kids, we need to give them knowledge and wisdom, how to think, how to use the knowledge, and how to harness the very same knowledge into making them, for them to make money, I'd say. So if your stream wants you to go to school, like being a doctor, because you can't just be a doctor from nowhere. Okay, there's an exception for that. But for me, I think we need to know what our kids are good at. What do they want? What are they passionate at? While equipping them with knowledge. Right now, in this 21st century, knowledge is everywhere. I'd say, not knowledge, I'd say information is like, it's just we're living in a bubble of an abundance information within us. It is at reach. So your kid, without even going to university, they can be skilled and equipped because there's Google, there's YouTube, there's books, there's all these things that you can buy on the streets, on the shelves, or whatever. You can even watch some documentaries. So through those documentaries, I believe that our kids can be anything they want to be without going through university. Because we must also acknowledge and remember that universities are a business, the same way as a bank. A bank is a business. This is not something for the people. Like they are helping the people. People look at a bank in a different way, as if it's a charitable organization. It's an NGO. No, universities and banks, they are a business. That is why they can be easily altered or customized to suit any gender, or to suit any agenda. Let's put it this way. By any agenda, if they want to brainwash people, whoever who owns those institutions, they can be called and say, change the curriculum. We need to deceive people. We need to teach them these things. Why are they teaching people things that will make them make money? Because it's a business. So a business cannot afford to make people aware or wake them up, because now they won't need that business. They won't make, like, the business will lose money. So let the business make people feel like you need this in order for you to become that. Because if they lose the essence of that, they will run out of business. So that is why they can change the curriculum as much as they want. They can change anything every time. If it was for the people, it wouldn't be so exclusive, so expensive. Why would something be expensive if it's for the people? It will help those people to become better. So our kids need knowledge and wisdom to make money and survive.
It is so difficult. And I feel like as Black people, we spend too much money on education. Some parents even lose their homes, lose their houses because they're sending a child to education. And then a lot of our graduates are either not employed or employed in fields that they did not study for. I feel like if we could take that money and start opening businesses, business opportunities, and if we could believe in apprentice, where from a high school age, we groom people based on the talent that we see. Because at high school, you can already see who is likely to become what, instead of forcing everyone to be a teacher, a nurse. Because let me just, one simple thing. Tell me a South African doctor who's richer than Trevor Noah.
None.
Tell me a South African teacher who's richer than Jacob Zuma.
None.
Tell me a South African accountant who's richer than the boys who own ShopRite.
Zero.
See? And sometimes you don't even need to have the skills. The problem with us, we like to get credit. We want it to be known, Noguti, it's Thenjiwe's business. Thenjiwe is doing that. But if we could just learn to work behind the scenes, that's why Abelungu will always have us working for them. No, but everyone knows who works at ShopRite. We wear uniform even to the taxi rank. That's marketing them. That's advertising. It's so unnecessary. But because we don't even think of that, we are so proud that I got employed at Woolworths. You wear their uniform. Do you know how much they pay for a billboard? And when you are their billboard for 2,800 a month. And then on top of that, we do not understand the power we have together. The power of stokvels. If we could take those, the money that we collect, open businesses, start our own malls, start our own brands. You see, even fashion designers, you'll be sitting, maybe you are abroad, and they say, oh, South African fashion designers, they'll show up wearing Fendi and Louis Vuitton, and you're like, and now who's going to believe in South African brands?
No, like, Thenjiwe, thanks for that. This will sound whatever, but it's cool. How can a South African brand wear, and how can you be a fashion designer or have a product of your own, but you still wear LVs and Gucci's? How? So for me, I feel like Black people want to be in business, to be glorified, to be celebrities. They want to be known, like they want to be famous entrepreneurs, famous businessmen. You know what I mean? Like I've talked about this thing. I don't know. I was having this conversation with someone else this other day. I was talking about the very same thing, that why do Black businesses or do Black business owners want to be known? Black, if people know you and you bought them and they know you personally, when you bought them, then it affects the business directly. Right now, people don't know Markham, they don't know Woolworth, they don't know all those guys. So if somebody knew them personally and we saw them urinating somewhere or they were swimming and then they vomited by mistake, I was like, because people judge you. So those people are behind the scenes. Nobody knows them. So even if ShopRite does something, maybe you treat a like an employee or a customer no one attacks the owner. Instead, they are going to attack the supervisor in that store or whoever in that store. The owner is somewhere there, safe and sound. So the ShopRite will continue being in business because nobody is attacking the owner for the business. They would understand, no, it's a business thing.
Even
Black people.
Even now, during Black Lives Matter, nobody has questioned where's the owner of Markham's because as Black people we buy there. Where's the owner of ShopRite because as Black people we buy there, because we do not know them. Yes. They could be sitting at home and saying Black people are monkeys. We do not know them. We will continue supporting them. But if we knew them, so sometimes we have to know that it's okay to work behind the scenes. You have to decide. In South Africa, even journalists, people will be writing an article about Samar, and you see the journalist photo, and you're like, how? Bantu. And everyone wants to be famous.
We have, like, I was looking at that just recently, and I was so shocked at how everyone, and it's especially in business, it was just worse for me that, dude, you are a businessman, be a businessman. No, they want to hang around with your Black Coffees, your Caspers, and other celebrities. It's like someone, when they were growing up, we didn't have things and we couldn't just wait. So now we are having businesses, not because now it's deep. We want to change the world. We want to help the Black child. No, it's about, it's a me journey. That is why the very same people, you will see them being obsessed with fame, and then after fame, they want to hang around with all those public figures, and they want to be seen.
Even politicians, Bo. Even politicians, they're more worried about trending on Twitter than into Tugo. Like, seriously, guys. Guys, here is Summary's YouTube page. Please do subscribe to his YouTube channel and give him love and support. We need to encourage him to post more. And what encourages us to post more is when we feel the love. Because when people are not watching and people are not subscribing, you start to feel like maybe people don't like what I'm putting out. But it's just that South Africans are not very familiar with YouTube. As South African comedians, we have some great content out there. Go to David Gao. He's got the David Gao's house. It's nicer than some of the reality shows I've seen on TV. It's nice, it's educational, it's funny, and a whole lot more. Samari, same thing. And as you can hear him, he's not just a comedian, I'll make you laugh, but he is a comedian, I'll make you laugh, but you also learn. So please do support us. It means a lot to us, because if we do not get support at home, we look like we are fake when we go out. You know, it's not nice when you're not. And everywhere we go, like, I didn't know that social media has become so important. So important. When you go for meetings or auditions, they ask you your numbers. Have you ever come across that where you are asked, how many followers do you have?
No, like, you see, Thenjiwe, because we are living in a digital world, most definitely that's one of those modern requirements to check who are you in the social hierarchy, you know, and those things, they help them to see if this particular person will add value to our brand or to the company. One, could this person bring numbers? Two, or could this person make or give an awareness on his platforms for our product? Or three, will people trust us having this particular person working with us? Will that also be your brand association? Will that give value to us when we are seen working with this person? So, you know what they say, numbers don't lie. You know what I mean? So if they see with those numbers, so it gives them a perception that, okay, which means this person, people trust him, people look up to him, is good with social skills, or this person really loves people, or he's aware of 1, 2, 3, 4.
So, guys, it is very, very important to support the people that entertain you, because it does help us when we are facing all these auditions and when people are searching for who's funny South African, and or someone will recommend somebody. The first thing they do, they go online and they're like, "Ah, but how come he has such a few following on YouTube? It means it's not funny," because that's how they judge us before they even see your work. So it's very important. Ukudzai uthi, hi there, kuhamba kanjani? Summary, keep up the good work. Nathi singaba ngaphandle kwe-South Africa siyakwazi, siyawuthanda umsebenzi wakho. What do you have to say to Kudzai? Uti, even from outside South Africa, we love you and we love you.
Kudzai, thank you very much, Kutwami. Nyabonga kakhulu ngoba yini abantu abenza ukuthi siqhubeke sisenze lokhu thina osokwenzako, and yazi umuntu ngabantu, and isupport yenu guys, we can feed ourselves and our families, and we can do other things, because ayikho into ebuhlungu njengokuthi njengamanje since lento le corona iqalile abantu bathi Thenjiwe or somebody ake usihlekise lapho. Lento le ebuhlungu because umuntu usicabangela yena, umuntu uthi kuwe awungihlekise lapho, akathi nokuthi yazi Thenjiwe njengoba isimo lesi sime kanje, ngiyabona ukuthi isimo esibukhale kabi lesi, ngiyazi ukuthi mina as an artist anenza imali from March asazi until nini, so nami anginamali, kodwa bengingajabula ukuthi mhlambe, you know, I can send you e-wallet or do this or try this so that you can keep doing what you're doing. Understand? So people just want to laugh. That's like, I don't understand this. People want to laugh and have fun, but they don't care about you. One thing they said, which Thenjiwe ni famous, I need ni famous nyaziwa manje is katse tutina yabantu abama 9 to 5. Instead, they are mocking, but they still want to laugh. That's not fair. Just, you understand, if our normal is fine, yes, we are all affected, but some are affected more than others.
But some people do not know how they can help us. Some are really, really not aware of how do I help Usamari, or because also, okay, before I say this, can I just put a link to my GoFundMe, guys? If you want to help me or the channel, you can go to my GoFundMe, or you can, there's a $sign just below the comments that you can click and give me a super chat, and or you can go to my GoFundMe, and any amount is helping us. For the GoFundMe is for a movie that I want to shoot when we come out of lockdown. It's a project that I'm very passionate about, that I wanted to shoot, because when I'm not working, a lot of people are not working. Everyone I employ is not working when I'm not working. And I get my money from stand-up comedy and from touring as a stand-up comedian. And now with social distancing and no public performances allowed, I'm not making anything. So it will really not just support me, it will support the entertainment industry by allowing me to continue employing the people I employ, including the people that I do skits with and the people that work behind the scenes. Because when you see 10 people on screen, you must know 60 were behind yeah. So it's very important. So what I wanted to ask is, summary. I hear what you are saying, and you just heard what I've just said. A lot of South African so-called celebrities will never do that because of pride, because they must be known as being able to afford, even if it means they are wearing fake things. They must, even if they have to go and pose at a friend's house to shoot a photo for Instagram so that people see them as being rich. And so what advice can you give our audiences and us as performing artists about living the life that makes people believe we are super rich and we have a lot of money? Because we behave like Hollywood. We have a Hollywood attitude, but our pockets are very South African. We do not have Hollywood bank balances.
Like just Thenjiwe, isizwe sethu lesi esinsundu sibulawa ukuthanda izinto, sithanda ukubukwa, sithanda ukujabulisa abantu noma thina ngaphakathi singajabulanga sifa. As long as abantu bazosibona ngathi kunempumelelo kuthina or mhlambe sinakho noma singenakho. One thing that is killing us the most is social media. Social media is giving people the impression yokuthi I've got it on. And we are falling into this trap so much that our likes does not mean money. People just like, and we need to unpack this again. The fact that some people follow us or they follow a certain celebrity or an influencer, this is where people get it wrong. Do not think that because when you get so many likes, one, there are people that follow you because they envy you. That's not inspiration. Envy and inspirations are two different things. It's envy. So some people like those things because they wish they were you. Two, some people they follow you because fashion sense, fashion, and then there's a few percentage that would die for you because they really love you, and there's 4 or 5 followers who. So the only one genuine. Let's say you have 100,000 followers, or let's say 100,000 followers. That does not mean 100,000 people like you or love you. No, among this 100, that is why you can post a picture. If that was the case, if you post a picture, if you want to buy 100,000, why won't I tell you 100,000 likes or 99,000 likes or 70,000 likes? No, you will get 1,000 or 1,500 or 2,200. So there are those that just want to look at what you are doing.
Some are there to copy. Some are using you as an educational institute. They're sitting and taking notes. They are just there for their own benefit, not for your benefit. And can I just also remind you guys that we do appreciate your support from any platform, but please note that when you download our videos and make them trend on WhatsApp, number one, it's only the white man that's making any money out of that, because as you're sending the videos, we are all using data to send and to receive and to watch those videos, but the artist is not making a cent out of that. So if you are supporting us, please support us by liking and watching our stuff on YouTube. You can then download and send, but you are not supporting me. And you get people saying, I have received your video, and they will say a country so far away. I would rather you send a link to my video on YouTube to your friends and families, especially if you know they do have, say, maybe Wi-Fi. It doesn't cost them much. It doesn't mean they're not going to eat if they watch it through YouTube. Because when it's on Instagram, when it's on WhatsApp, we are not making a cent. We don't even stand a chance of making a cent. So please do support us by the platforms where we upload, by watching on the platforms where we upload. On WhatsApp, we can't even check how many people are watching.
So it doesn't do anything for us to share our work on WhatsApp, but it does a lot for the white man because he is making money. At least let him make money. Let him make his 10 rands while I make my 5 cents as well by watching on platforms such as YouTube. There's a message I want to read for you. I don't know if you want to address it, but it says, it's from Jabulo Ndlovu Ugacheni. Uthi ngiyinzalo yaseZimbabwe indebele likaMzilakazi. Kungani lingasemukeli ezweni lethu? Awu ngiyabazi oNdlovu baseZimbabwe. Othi Ndlovu Gacheni athi hayi Gacheni Indlovu. Uthi hawu boya benyathi athi hayi boya benye out. Indlovu. Uthi hawu kanti wena uNdlovu onjani ongazi ukuthi oNdlovu oGatsheni athi ngindlovu mina indlovu yengempela uthi Ndlovu kanti wena ngempela iphi inkaba yakho athi nangu umkhaba wami ngihamba nawo la ngiyakhona uthi Ndlovu ake ngikubuze yini le athi idolo uthi yini le athi idolo lesandla. So Jabulo, I wish I was hearing you speak, but ke let's address ukuthi uthi ngiyinzalo yaseZimbabwe indebele likaMzilikazi. Kungani lingasemukeli ezweni lenu? I will say my 2 cents as well when you are done summary.
Okay, guys, let us be honest with this whole thing. Emotional. This is my take on this thing. I am 100% for Africanism, Africa. Let us unite, guys. By all means necessary. I want our brothers and sisters to be one, so that we can conquer the world, because we are the most nicest, beautiful, funny. We are everything in this whole world. You know what causes the whole problems that people don't want to talk about. Understand that this is the issue, and our fellow brothers from other African states, especially South Africa, they commit crimes. And when those crimes are addressed, it comes as a xenophobic attack or whatever. It is so, guys, it is so saddening that where you live, as a person, there are people that live in the whole area illegally. Listen, we are not saying let us help our people, but we are suffering as well in the very same land that people want opportunities in. And if our brothers were here and they were trying to feed themselves legally, it's fine. But they are we are scared of them. Even Lana Ejosi, they are the one that it's either they sell drugs or Baba Binkunzi or they hijack cars, and they are always called Gupi, Guma, Boragate. Those are the things that people don't want to talk about. And they are not saying Africans don't unite. They say no, Africans, let us unite. But this behavior, we can't tolerate this behavior. So our politicians are failing us, they failed us, and they are the ones that makes the citizens angry, and it comes out as hate to people. But they don't want to talk about how the leaders of this country are not taking care of their own people. As a result, the people of the country, they end up being brutal, they end up being angry, and they address those things through social media and everything. And then our brothers think we hate them, and we don't.
That is so powerful. Uzamo Misi uthi so true. Njabulo Ndlovu from Zim inzalo kaMzilikazi. My maiden name is Ndlovu. Bengingeke ngiqome kwaNdlovu from Zim because they are family. Yes, they are. And I like that comment by Uzamo. And I would like to ask you guys and beg you to take this name down if you have never heard of her or seen any of her speeches. Please, she's a very good friend of mine. Please please, you need to do yourself and your children in favor and listen to her speeches. The reason we were divided needs to be taught in our schools. Africa didn't have borders. Let's talk about Africa before borders. Pre-colonial Africa didn't have a South Africa, a Zimbabwe, a Ghana, a Nigeria. In such a way that some African names really need to be changed. Find out what Nigeria means in Japan. Then come back to me. But having said that, we must know that divide and rule was very important in the construction of apartheid systems. So we were divided, and nobody ever took us through the healing process when things ended. I say ended because I believe not yet Uhuru until we have the land and the economic freedom. So it is up to us to make sure that we know the history and we know who divided us. We know who decided this is now Zimbabwe. We know who decided things that already existed in African countries must now be named after them or their ancestors. These are things that as Africa, we need to sit down and discuss. That's when we will grow the love back for each other, because without the knowledge of our history, we are divided, and divided we fall. United, they know how strong we can be. Look at Victoria Falls. The falls were there before Victoria. They found it in Zimbabwe. What was it called before? That's why sometimes I blame our leaders. Why don't we go back to calling things what they were before they were stolen illegally? So our politicians do have a duty to make sure we know our history, and we do have a duty as Africans to talk about these things openly so that we can move forward. Because by not talking about them, our children will grow up and still continue to hate each other. But Tina, we do it because of the divide and rule. We were designed to hate each other. It is something that is deep, that needs to be discussed, that we need to move away from, that we need to heal from. We are one. There was one continent before it was divided. Look at the size of United States of America. Look at the size of Africa. Africa was one country until they decided, Belgium, you take this part of Congo. France, you take this part of Congo. America, you take this part. Portuguese people, you take Mozambique. We will take this part. That's when we were divided. Otherwise, we are one, which is why even our languages cross over. You can go to Kenya, you'll find that we speak a very similar language because it is born out of the Nguni languages. When they say Nyoga, they say Mbuzi. Yeah, like you can pick up what they're talking about when they are talking. So we are one. That's one thing we have to know. And as soon as we address that, then we will be able to say, this person is being beaten up because he's a drug dealer. This person is being killed because he's a killer, is a murderer, he's a rapist. Not because he's Zimbabwean, not because he's Nigerian, not because he's dead. Is this or that. So we really need to go back. Because if you don't know where you come from, you can never know where you're going, because you won't even know when you're going back where you come from. So we need to know where we come from.
100. Like, Thenjiwe, it's so sad that it is now deeply rooted in our minds how much there's, like, look how South Africans are. We think we are better than any other African state. How possible is, how do we think that we are better? Because we are, and you know why? It's because of the English. South Africans think because they speak English, they speak they have an accent. Let me rather say that. Because South Africans think because they have an accent of some sort, therefore they are better than other African states. Look, for instance, what you said. United States, your Philadelphia's and whatever, they are a country on their own. Most of those other states, that shows that the whole portion of that conflict, USA is a continent on its own. Why can't we become that continent and be powerful? And be powerful and fight those. Now we are deeply rooted with hate so much that when you see someone from outside, you don't see them for who they are. So those kind of things that they instilled in our minds. So we need to know our history and take it back so that we can be able to walk that journey peacefully.
That is it's very important. Divided we will always fall, but united we stand. Uti Isaiah Masipa, good conversation, but who has the power to bring all African countries together? Malema, I don't know who has the power. I think the youth. And I think when I look at the things that are happening in South Africa now, it reminds me of 1976. Now in Africa, we have 70% youth, and the youth is not being quiet. The youth is using such platforms as social media to talk about these things, to discuss these things, because we do not control our own PR as a continent. We do not control our own media. So it becomes difficult for us to even address ourselves. But look at what's happening in the world. It's a reflection of what the youth is capable of doing. And I think we are getting there. I think we are getting there as Africa, and I see a change is coming. We are even traveling to other African countries. And it's funny how Usamari says South Africans think they're best. You know, there are South Africans who say, I'm going to Africa, and I'm like, where are you? They say, I want to visit. It's so nice to be in Africa. Hey. Where have you come from? Yeah, we'll be sitting with them in Nigeria and say, oh my God, it's so nice. It's my first time in Africa. First time where? You were born in Africa. So it's all here. Guys,
yes. It's like, guys, it has. Hence, we need to have this conversation. And let me tell you something. That's where comedy plays the most important role on this planet. The only that's why we have to be against this whole political correctness and this whole thing of spirituality, because if they take that away from us, there is no comedy. Zero. Nothing. We are the ones left to talk about these things fearlessly and fiercely. So we are the ones, and should we not do that, then we must know that we did not play our part.
Especially because Tina guys, we rely on you to support us. Nobody can fire us. Nobody can show us the door. Nobody can close. As long as you guys are still coming to our shows, as long as you guys are still subscribing to our channels, buying tickets to come to our live events, we can be your voices. We are the voice for the voiceless. Uthi Unjabulo Ndlovu, in response to what we said, Casis Thenjiwe, ngizazi indabuko yami. Ngizalwa ngumakhumalo ozalwa ngumanxumalo. Lokhu kuliza enikwenzayo kuyinhlamba. Ngoba kasikwerezi njengoba utsho. I will correct you there, my brother. Yes, some people do kwereza, and the reason there's even a word ethi kwere. It's because people who spoke a language that South Africans didn't understand, including Zulus didn't understand, including Sutus vendors. We used to say bayakwiriza. If a person is speaking a language ongayazi, if you listen to the older generation of Gogonomkhulu, hey, come and listen to him, uyakwiriza. Come and listen to him. And then it was made to be used as negative. Tina, we are a nation with a sense of humor. Through our pain, that's how we were able to survive even apartheid. We laugh at each other. We laugh at people in Johannesburg who speak Zulu different from us. We laugh at people from the next town in KZN who speak Zulu different from us. So we do not do that as a way of offending. In fact, it's a way of acknowledging our differences, and it's okay to be different. it's okay to be different. That's what makes us human beings. And there's nothing wrong with speaking the way you speak. There's nothing wrong with me speaking the way I speak, because it means I speak another language. It means I speak at least another language, which is an added benefit. So there's nothing rude about that as far as I'm concerned. But Samari, maybe you can let me know. Akiri, the trending term in South Africa, that's also started from making fun of people, especially from KZN, who go to Joburg, come back and speaking with that Akiri Maratu. We're very observant, and we will laugh at the way you speak if it's different from us.
And one thing that people have to be mindful of. You are a comedian just to begin with, and people, because you are a comedian. This is that's why when I do back then in 2016 or 17, I used to have Zulu jokes a lot. I've never apologized for that ever, whether the whole province didn't like me or any other people. I did not apologize, because that's what happened. If people can simply say, hey, and you cannot say things about them, that's a problem. That's a problem. If we're gonna mock other tribes, rest assured that all these tribes, they have their deficiencies. Every tribe. But let me tell you something. None of these tribes want to be mocked. That's funny. And yet all these tribes know the stereotypes about other tribes. We know it. People know, okay, people will say, oh, I'm a Zulu guy. Okay, I'm a Zulu. The very same Zulu would say, hey, let's hey, like I'm a hash, they know, and then the many people know that. So as we know each other, it's only us comedians who will say those things loudly. Why would you apologize for that if you guys know those things and say it in your private spaces or in your own corners? Why?
Exactly. I want to play a video of yours, then we continue this conversation.
Dear students, the university is better off without you. Look how peaceful this place is without you guys. Without your noise, without your... Yes. O tla utlwa wena ha batho ba gutla mavenda tla ba rasitse. Ha Dave mazwipha come the can gay ha re phaphara matswanga lona. Let's do this. We are going to student center. Ka mo ke mazulu na tla ba rasitse. Webafo awuthenga ama chips lapho nisingwa nhambile. No, you guys, no. So just fade and sit at home. The university is for Tswanas, Pedis, and Sotos, because they are peaceful. Hela ngwaneso hlena ke ya ko library hle ngwaneso ka library e warra hape mone champêtre man engineering it's for those people. The rest of you guys failang duleng high. Bye summer.
Does that in any way mean you hate the tribes that you were making fun of?
Yeah.
That video, you are making fun of university students, and you are tribally categorizing them and their behavior. Does it in any way mean you hate those tribes?
Definitely not. And the fact that even on this clip, I was just making fun of every time. Actually, that just came in my mind at that time. You know, like Thenjiwe, we are funny people. And we should not be afraid to talk about all those things. We do those things. We know all those things. But but people are tribal. That is why when you're gonna say something about Sothos or Tswanas or Pedis, they go to cringe because no one wants to look at themselves for who they are. Someone knows that I am Zulu, and as a Zulu person, I've never spoken any other language. And if you're gonna joke about that, someone is going to be defensive. If you are going to do, yes, I know we have stereotypes. If we were all decent and say it's wrong, we wouldn't say those things even in our day-to-day conversations. Be it at home, we are going to respect other tribes, but we all know for a fact that from our parents, they know even within the Zulus, you have other Zulus that you would mock. That lava amapaka or lava ama ini lava basic understand that. So it goes across it, like even in the Sothos, there's different Sothos. There's one from Lesotho, Bloemfontein. There are the ones that were born in Johannesburg. Same thing. There are Zulus from the Zululand. There are Zulus from Gupi. There are Zulus from Mpumalanga. You know what I mean? And all those things, they make us unique, and we embrace those things, and that's what makes us funny and fun because of those elements. So why can't we make fun of those things if we can say those things, whether at home or anywhere else? Like friends would not. I'm not talking about comedians. Just normal people would talk about other tribes and say, "Hi guys, yes mara, ama Tsonga, aya rasa, ama Tsonga, aya rasa." It's something that tribe is known for. You guys, Amazulu, even the Zulus themselves, it has other Zulus. It doesn't matter why the so. What about other tribe there? If you can see it as a Zulu person, I'm gonna see it as a Sotho person as well. But because me and you, Thenjiwe, we are in a creative space, we're gonna talk about those things easily, things that make people cringe. So for me, I will apologize for something that I know I wasn't supposed to say it, and the intention was to harm other people. But 99%, if not 100% of what I do is just humor.
Beautiful. David Gao, Uti, Summary has an advantage because he speaks more than one language. That clip is funny. He must aim to be funny, not to please. I like that. Because there's always someone who's going to think the joke is on them. There's always someone, especially a good joke will always have a victim. What do you think with about what David is saying?
You know, I am thankful more, especially coming from obviously a legend in our game, a teacher of many, and like an all-round artist, someone who has been doing this thing for years. So I'm glad that he says such, because it also comforts me, and it gives me that edge to just keep pushing. You know what I mean? So I'm really thankful and just honored to hear it coming from an expert and someone who's been doing it for years, before maybe some were even born, you know, and hearing it from him, obviously, like, it gives me that that sense of feeling.
Can I just so add that it is so important to know that because not everyone is going to be pleased, and not everyone likes what you do or what you say. There are people who don't think Beyonce, otherwise known as Busisiwe, is beautiful. They don't think she can sing. They don't think she can dance. So there will always be people. Just like even when it comes to religion, we have people who don't believe in Jesus, who think he's just an imaginary friend. We have people who believe Amadlozi. We have people who don't believe Amadlozi. And it's fine to be different. it is okay. And there are many different forms of humor. There are many, some are lucky to be talented in all different forms. Some only have one way of being humorous, but we must not be made to be apologetic for the things we believe in and the things we say. And it's okay to disagree, and it's okay not to find it funny, but you must never ever take away the fact that it was done by a comedian. Just like sometimes we don't find musicians having good voices, but it doesn't take away the fact that they were singing. Utu Isaiah Masipa, wouldn't it be better to rather focus on building global village, including all countries world over, so not to lose sight of common progress like fourth industrial revolution, etc.? Why do we limit ourselves to Africa as if we have no role to play in the world? Mina, I do believe that a child that does not get respect at home cannot get respect elsewhere. I know you cannot be a prophet in your own town, but we need to fix what's broken within ourselves, and we need to fix what's broken in Africa. There'll always be that one person that will be lucky enough to be taken and made as a successful South African or African, but our problems are at home. The fact that, going back to these tribal discussions we were having, the fact that as Africans we still associate everything successful as good and good with white people. We say, "Ooh, summer is so American. Oh, summer is so white. Oh, you guys, you love each other like a white couple. Oh, your house, ngate yomlungu." We need to stop that. So we need to fix the problem within ourselves, within our continent first, before we can be ready to take over the world. Otherwise, right now, we're just a mockery across the continents. We are just a mockery as African people. So much so that, in the diaspora, when you go, some Black people still find it unacceptable that you are coming to work in the office where they work. So we need to learn to love ourselves first at home, so that when we go, we are going as one people. We are going united. That's when, because divided like this, we will never conquer the world. We will never, even when we like, we will never. If you can't own land in your own country, you think you can go abroad and conquer the world. That's why you find our doctors cleaning toilets abroad, because we think anything associated with abroad or white people is pure gold. That's why you find our professional graduates, engineers and business people going abroad to pack shelves in supermarkets, because it's abroad. That's why you find people thinking it's acceptable to say, "I will never do this job at home," but they do it when they're doing it for a white person from abroad. That's why you find people working for what I call the BBC, which is British bum cleaners. They find it acceptable, but when you ask them, "Will you be able to do this kind of work at home?" they say, "I would never do care work at home." Why would you not care for your own people, but you are willing to come and care for strangers in Britain? Because we associate white people and Western countries with gold. We think that they are diamonds.
No, Thenjiwe, you just hit a nerve. This goes back to what I said initially, that our people, we undermine ourselves to a point where we don't value Black, but we want to advocate for Black. Now people, Black Lives Matter, because of the global what you call crisis that has occurred, George Floyd. We have seen so much happening. Black people are so forgiving, they forget easily, and they just want to have fun. Look how, I'm not saying it's a bad thing for people to drink. No, drink. But look how alcohol was celebrated in South Africa on the 1st of May. June. Look how much it was. Guys, that's not funny. This has nothing to do with stop judging, because people like to use that word like more than anything else. Stop judging. Who are you to tell people how to spend their money, what to drink and what not to drink? And they don't see that. If the whole nation the youth, the people could celebrate that. What more do they do when there's no pandemic? Which means our minds or our lives are fully occupied by entertainment, just living my life. What it is. Biafana, it is what it is. So
I don't know if Summer is just frozen on my side. Please, guys, let me know if you can still hear him, because I don't know whether it is just me.
hello.
Yeah, we are back. Thank you.
Yeah. So I was saying, if Thenjiwe, let us start at home. Let us start at home. Let us start here first. Let us fight all these injustices. Let's help our fellow citizens. Let's help let's help women to fight all like there's many things that we can mention la ekhala then we can conquer the world. The problem is that is why from Upeg, the whole entertainment industry, it does not offer anything black anymore. It's not. People are obsessed with being Hollywood. We are not Hollywood. We are black African guys. We are Rema South Africans, for God's sake. Look at the whole transition that happened, Guma Awards. Back then, people used to wear smart, just smart. Up until your Hollywood and other awards, like abantu bangatholi amaphenti sebatoga idress ezovala la, then ngapha ivezithanga abantu batoga ama overseas. All of that, it was copied la eMzansi. So which means black people, we don't value who we are and things of our own. We want to be so international, so bad that they want to be invited. Guma BET Awards, they want to be invited. Everything overseas, by put high and low. Guys, I'm tired.
It is so sad. It is so sad who we are. But me, for those who are not familiar with what was happening when we went to level 3 in Africa, people started celebrating and being so happy that we could finally drink. You can see the video. We do have a video on that. Like people slept outside, guys, wanting to be the first ones in line. But the most embarrassing was, and I kept saying it's going to be like Black Friday. Black people are about to embarrass us. It's going to be like Black Friday. People are going to push each other. Look at what happened. It's the same thing we do when we have so-called stars from overseas coming. You find people, even mothers with children on their back, waiting and singing, and children dancing for certain stars coming from overseas. But when we have a group of students that has just studied for 8 years in Russia to become doctors, nobody is there to receive them. Nobody is at the airport happy and celebrating them. We do not celebrate ourselves. We do not celebrate our own. And going back to the issues that we need to address issues of, I don't know, summary. Let me just try and repost. Yay, he's back. I wanna Precious, let's build each other first. I'm a big believer of building each other first before we go outside. We need to build each other first. We have children, guys, that need our help. Let us be parents to children we didn't give birth to. Let us be there and be, just look at what teachers have to do.
Thabiso, sifunda ngabantu ngento ezenziwa ngemisebenzi eyenziwa ngabantu. Wena ufuna uba yintoni?
Lisela.
Ufuna uba lisela? Ayini. Uyalazi isela? Lenza ntoni isela?
Yaba.
Ndakubetha wena. Lenza ntoni?
Yaba.
Uyalazi isela liphelela phi? Liphelela phi?
Trongweni.
Ufuna uye etrongweni?
Likey.
And uyalazi isela ngoku.
Uyalazi liphelela. Before you say anything, let me give you another one. Then you say what you have to say.
Hlangana phona ngazongiphaphela la. Ungalingi ungijona masini.
Oh, guys, Mara, guys, no, like you see, I don't see anything funny there. Okay, it's funny because people want to look it as the very same people, the very same guys. It's toxic. If someone at that age, or if someone that's what I mean. Even up to this day, we've never embraced a kid saying like umntana uma azukala ufuna ukukhuluma athi check when the check bebathina kade bamshana samshayini even nathi simshayini because why it's not funny and people find that ukuthi uza umntana uthini uyathukana umuntu nganoring waruhakana nana izala kukhuluma futhi check when I'm at park. That's not funny. That's not funny. Understand that? So
And you can hear the adults laughing in the background, and they think it's absolutely okay.
It's not funny. It's not. And Thenjiwe, ukuze ukhula ubekanje uThenjiwe, bokunokwesaba nokwethuka wena ukuthi azini akumelanga ngisho lokhu nalokhu inhlonipho like inhlamba beyikude nolimi lwakho or nje emqondo like game understand unless ukuthi uthukana kuphi endaweni nakho uvalo lwakho lakushaya ukuthi azini ish yazima why mara ngithukana understand so lina kiliso etsikire hesu bana nere batrapa bana besumphethu habayithi nje sefani bakasri hey never because it's normal. You used to say this thing. How do you expect umuntu owenza kanje then makakhula abe umuntu right? So can you think the very same person uzothuka intanga zakhe? This person will curse or what him will curse their friends,
Their teachers,
because it's like it's normal. Like check for instance. That's why it's normal for American comedians to use vulgar fuck, mother what and everything. It's a norm. Matter for one Africa, but they banned Sika the Cake as a song. And
for so long, American artists have been having a punchline yabo as fuck. But where's the joke? Is this it? But we're the ones who will never question. We will buy their ticket for 2,000 rands just to come and say, and then I went to fucking Africa, and then I saw fucking women walking down the streets with fucking breasts all over, and we're laughing. And I'm like, where? Which part of Africa has women walking around with breasts like that? Like, dude. And we accept it when it's them.
This is where again it gets interesting. They can easily ban Sika the Cake because it's immorally not right, but the same radio stations and TVs, they play ingoma zabo Lil Wayne, zabo Nicki Minaj, zabo Cardi B, where they talk about the women genitals like it's just nothing. Understand? We don't respect who we are, and that is why this whole thing now is just going on and on. Now it's just normal. Those kids, but we are
listen, we as Nango summary is back. We are so bad that we accept anything that comes from Western countries, but not, we are so judgmental when it comes to our own. When the 80% or 90% to be played on music stations, on radio stations, to be South African music, we as South African DJs and artists were the ones who contested it. Like,
sometimes
it's to your advantage. They want to play your music 80% of the time. And same South African artists were like, no. DJs were like, no, we can't just play South African music. We need music about pussy and champagne. Give us American music. Ooh, guys, there's a very good valid point from David Carr. Thenjiwe, I mean, to minimize the damage, I don't forward anything with kids, especially swearing or drinking. I am the same, including accidents, guys. Do not send me anything with accidents. Before you send me anyone, or Thenjiwe, or some truck, people banning and all that rubbish, at least ask me for permission. I do not like people who just send us such things. And I do believe they should really be arrested. We should do that seriously and stop making these things trend unless it's for purposes of entertainment and education, such as this show.
All right. How do you forward something umntwana athukana? Where is funny there? Where? King like ngwana ore na ha ke hola ke batla ba prostitute. Dude, no, that's
who records it? Who records it? Instead of reprimanding the child, you're recording it.
Let's question the parent. Let's call the parent. Why ngwana a bua so? Le bua eng haufi le ngwana o? Umntwana ngathi mina mangkhula mfuna uba yisela. Bathi lazisela. Ngiyalazisela. Lenzani? Liyeba. And then it's just a good thing because wow, this kid, it's no, it's not, because the very same child, guys, children are powerful. Thenjiwe, now mind you still remember things that you did when 6 years,
yes,
or 7 years. You remember
even 2 hours. I mean, I still remember when we left the hospital just after I was born. I'm so smart. I remember everything. I remember things from when I was 2 weeks old. And as an African child, you're not given a chance to forget, because your mother will make you speak to someone that you last saw when you were 2 months and tell them how much you miss them and how much you love them. As an African child, you don't. So very oh, it might be. Let me read Princess Mutle Utini. She says, Sis Thenjiwe, with the accident one I really hate. My aunt was involved in a car accident and she died right there, and it was posted on social media. That's what I always ask. How do you know? It's like people who find out someone has passed away and they are, before the family writes about it, they're there writing so and so has died, RIP so and so. I don't think you should be the first one to be writing an RIP. And number two, I don't understand why you RIP people. They're gone. What do you want? What do you expect? You expect them to reply to your Facebook message by saying, hey, yeah, it's dark where I am and my nose is starting to rot. Like, what reply are you expecting from someone who's dead? I mean, I wish I would leave my accounts to someone like you, Samari, so that when they send me RIPs and they tell me they miss me on social media, Please reply to them. Please reply to them.
I can comment him.
Tell them
Lele.
I just saw your name in hell. I can't wait for you to get here. Like,
No, Thenjiwe, that's the name. This is the thing. Helsinki, we became an insensitive society. It's even a norm. What was normal is abnormal now, and what's abnormal, it's normal. It's the new norm. I understand. This whole thing, I'm living my life with this. Like, we always use things like, for instance, as Black people, we are a happy society. We've been happy during apartheid. They will use that phrase to defend. Let's say now when you're going to address alcoholism, we've been drinking during apartheid. We were even coping, but nobody wants to talk about how it is damaging the Black society. Thenjiwe, let us be honest, without fear of favor or anything. 80% of Blacks and the youth, like alcohol is the parties, this whole partying thing, clubbing, and look, let us check where most bad things happen. When they were going to the party, when they were coming from the party, or when they were at the party, this other guy did this other guy poured a drink, this, like, it's normal, it's everyday stories. They happen. They drink alcohol, they walk at night, or they drive at night, or they allow strangers to buy them alcohol.
and also, Tina, we do not value our lives. We will get into a car that's driven by someone we saw drinking all night, and then we call it an accident. We will also go and, like, people would, you see people with their rent money, buying expensive French champagne, and you're like, that's your rent money. That's your rent money. And we've seen this happen with the ban of alcohol, and as soon as it restarted selling, accidents, even nurses and hospitals, emergency wards started filling up again. Police stations started filling up again. We are not able to control ourselves, and they know. That's why they will always make sure alcohol is available. The same people who did not have money for food and were queuing for food parcels suddenly had money when it came to alcohol. We need to guys, we need to change. But I have a question for you. I don't want us to finish without you answering this question. If you had to be a Minister of Education for a week, what would you change and what would you introduce in South African schools?
Man, I would change.
And guys, please answer in the messages as well. This question goes to you as well.
I would change everything about the school system, how they are teaching kids, everything. Look, I would have your, like, you from, like, I think I would have a talent school more than anything else. What are you good at? If someone can sing, they will focus on harnessing their singing skills. If someone can paint, they will definitely deal with painting and knowing how to make money with painting. If someone can run, or they're gifted with sprinting, will focus on anything and everything that has to do with what someone is good at, what they want to do until they die. And in between, you can just hold in just general knowledge, the wisdom and everything. But most importantly, I will deal with what someone feels like. This is one that I can do anytime when someone wakes me up, anywhere. However, I can do this. If you wanna be a comedian, it will teach you those kind of things. This is how you do. This is blah blah blah. If you wanna sue things, you will do that. If you wanna Thenjiwe, anything that someone is good at, we will definitely maximize that, maximize the skills, grow those skills. If you want to be a doctor, then go to school to be a doctor. But we will be dealing with what people are good at naturally, so that even when they go outside after completing their schoolwork, they will definitely go hunt and do that. And even if they don't get the job, but they are still who they were destined to be. This is someone, even if I don't become the world-known comedian, whatever, but I'm still a comedian, and I'm happy, and I will die a happy person, because my purpose, my gift, what I was meant to do in life, I did it. It does not matter from which scale or from which platform or how many people, understand? So if you want to be anything that you want to be, so I'm going to get rid of the traditional way of teaching people, like teaching us about intent, like frogs. What am I going to do with frogs, or things about, guys, Peter bought 5 pies and he ate 3, blah, 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 blah. What is the sum of those? Dude, no. Teach people things that will help them survive in the world. That's it for me.
I took myself out, sorry. I think it's very, very important to focus on people's talents and skills. And we have seen, look at the Serena Williams. If they went through the traditional school route as Black women from a poor family, they wouldn't be where they are. Maybe they would be managers at Walmart at the highest. So it's very important, guys, to nurture our skills. I mean, another thing that I would add to what you said, I agree with everything you said. I would be very, very focused on history. Who are we? Where we come from? And I would want to teach not just children, us, about the traditions that we observe. Are they really traditions, or are they just mechanisms from the apartheid and colonizing us? Because some of these things came with colonizers. Even some of what is today called traditional outfits, they were fashion statements from those who came to colonize, and now we kept them. We're still dressing like how they dressed in 1885 when they first came. So a lot of things need to change. At least we must do it, but fully aware. Things like inzila, sizilelane. Is it really our culture? I would focus on those things that we celebrate. Because like you said, like who got help from this? Who can still label a frog? Have you ever gone for an interview and they asked you to do this? No. Why are we celebrating the things we celebrate? I would make sure that people at least know about things like Black Friday before we celebrate them, because they've become so commercialized and we are celebrating them, and it's going to lose itself in history. Those are things that I would be very serious about, so that people know what is Black Friday, how did it start, so that you are informed as you go to push each other. You know it started as a day to auction slaves, to auction your forefathers. Be informed about where we come from. And a book that I always recommend, guys, please read this book, The Making of a Slave. It's not good to support the writer, it's not good, but it's very powerful, because this will show you how they made a slave. This will show you how the methods they used. And if you don't know ukuthi uphethwe yini, you cannot, a doctor cannot give you medicine if they haven't diagnosed you, if they don't know what's wrong with you. If you don't know what's broken, what do you fix? So let us see what they broke from us, so that we can start fixing it.
Yeah, but Thenjiwe, that topic, it is one of the closest topics to my heart, because every time when I go home, I'm reminded of that because I would pass a huge farm and it hits me every time. How did this person acquire so much land? How? And people that are working there are our mothers, fathers, and our sisters. They are working there. So my question is, Thenjiwe, you drive 30 kilometers. It's still a farm of one person, a yard. That thing ain't hatter.
And we're not supposed to question where they got it from and who did it first belong to. And you know what our leaders will do? If you can find out that it used to belong to your forefathers and it was taken by force, they will give you 30,000 and make you sign a paper that says, okay, they took it by force, but now I'm giving it to them and I'll take this 30,000 and shut up.
You see, now this takes us back to what I said. The bourgeoisie, the very same black people that sold this country, that sold us, that sold this continent, because their kids are attending schools in Harvard, London. They are not affected. It's like someone says, dude, listen, Thenjiwe, let me buy this KZN, but don't worry about your kids, your husband, whoever. We're going to accommodate them, or we're going to take them to a secure location. Or even without even saying that, already if they give you 50 million or 10 million, you are going to take your kids to whatever, you're going to buy a house somewhere else. You don't care about those people. So they look at what happened, and this is what this girl, it pisses me off. How can a president, Thenjiwe, I want to know, how can the president be the most respected person who would rule Amakos with our traditional chiefs? Because if people who know Nkosi, like the chief of KZN of this tribe, there's a chief Yamapegi, now like there's all these chiefs and blah blah blah, different. How can those people be governed by a president? How can a political party govern the chieftaincy of?
I'll tell you why.
That's
because the rules come from a place that is ruled by a queen, but others, it's barbaric when we are ruled by our kings and queens. But for them, it's good. The queen must decide, because here no law is passed without the queen's approval. But for us, we barbaric if we involve Amakos.
Guys, that's rubbish. That's rubbish. Like that's nonsense. Like our chiefs, they have the right to the land. They used to occupy or give resident. Like, come on, guys. They gave people land. Okay, Abawa Mkize. You know, there's a section Bamkize Fela. There's a section Bahamkulu. Another section Mukwena. Another section Bakau. Understand that? Like, we used to have land. We used to respect each other. Hey, 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 man, understand that? It was that. So, which means we used to go to the chiefs. They will, if you needed one, we used to go there and then we notify. Umsebenzi wenziwa kuzoshadwa bazoletha, understand, bazowelcome mhlambe kushadwa umuntu wakamthunu ushadwa kaNdlovu, abakaNdlovu and the chieftains eyalapho bazwamukela inkosi mhlambe engakhipha inkomo nanani inikeze onina nizokhipha inyama nisi, understand. So they used to allocate those things. Look now, we have mines those villages because those people who live there, they don't have houses, they don't have water. So who are they paying rent to? Because when you're gonna build something there, you're supposed to pay rent to those landowners. So which means the most beneficiaries should be the villagers and the king and the villagers.
They
Not
come
the
to villages, take all the natural resources and leave them poor. Leave them, if not more poor than they were, just as poor. And it's such a crazy thing. Samari, you know, you and I, we never stop talking. It's been 2 hours and I had only asked for an hour of your time. And I know you and I can go on for 4 hours. Please promise me you will be back on the show. Please promise me that. I wish we could do a podcast together. That would be so nice. That would be so nice. Please promise me you will be back because we really, really love you and we enjoy you. And guys, please do not forget to subscribe to Summary's YouTube channel and also to follow him on other social media platforms, including his Instagram. Please give him love, show him some love on these social media platforms. Here is his Instagram and here is his Instagram. Please do click and follow him and come back and thank me later because ngeke nize nizisole. But before you give us the advice, I want to play something to remind people who we have, because I think people are starting to think, hey, we have Malema today. Let me remind you who this award-winning comedian is.
Huh? Hey, also enjoy poverty how? No that enjoy life. Guys, but also go about madimoniana. I 6 nyana 4. Ngile wa tsora ke tlala. Wa bona motho a ja bega. Wa msheba so. Ka pele ngwa what if o jana ba ya motho? Ah! Ke madimoni ao. Ke madimoni ao controller. Una le satani. Ngwane so rapela. Rapela tsokolo ye I never shame. Ooh, ke tsaba tsokolo guys. How tsokolo how time?
That is so funny. Thank you so much, Summary, for making the world a better place, one joke at a time. Guys, here is Summary's YouTube link once again. Please do subscribe to his YouTube channel. Subscription on YouTube is absolutely free. Stella usivalelise and give us some advice as we are still facing this thing and we still need to flatten the curve. You know, don't play with me. Don't play with me. That's Summary, guys. That's Summary. The things he does. Yes. Yes. Yes.
No, Thenjiwe, thank you very much for having me, and you have so much to share. You have so much knowledge. We just have to find a platform or maybe talk now and then to unpack all those things, because in most cases when we are on stage, obviously we wear off this persona, and in as much as we love to touch base on those things, it is hardly ever come close to your mouth, because once you're on stage, it's fun. You know what I mean? So thank you for your brilliant mind and the information that you have. And I can see it and feel it. You have a lot. Hence, I think the idea a podcast would do the drill. Or the more we have these lives and everything, I think we'll be at a better place to unpack those things. We don't have to be fine all the time. We must teach people that we don't owe them to be funny. That that when you do such sessions, people say, I'm trying to continue, and I'm trying to, I'm living. Like, you must teach people that you are a human being who sees, and being a comedian is worse. You see so much. You see so much things, and because your nature of your job, you talk about what you see. You know what I mean? So we need to talk about those things. And thank you very much for having me. And definitely, I'm always available for you. You know that very well. And yeah, anytime when you want me, in corner. And to people, guys, my only food. This is not an advice. It's just my words. I'd say, don't be afraid to be yourself in a world where we are always in a hurry, pushed by other people's supposedly successes or things that we think they are successes because of social media, Instagram, and everything that is happening now that we see on social media that's depressing us. Refrain from consuming things that will depress you. Yes, I know that we see in today's Zabo, Black Lives Matter, they are shooting people, they are killing people, but at some point, the more you see such things, you end up living in fear. You are no longer living life the way you were supposed to. You live in fear because now you're like, what if I die tomorrow? And that's not the way of living life. Let us acknowledge, yes, people are dying, we see all these things, but do not deprive yourself from living a peaceful life, a happy life. Love, appreciate, forgive, and have fun. If umuntu was go emathuneni and talk to your ancestors. If you are a Christian, pray all the time. If you are an atheist, you can just allow the universe to bring everything that you want to believe in. So whoever you are, wherever you are, just know that you still deserve to be happy. Whether you've lost a brother, a wife, a husband, a kid, or you are divorced, or or you are going through a divorce, or you are going through anything, corona, cancer, Ebola, anything, just anything, you still deserve to be happy. Live. I know it's tough, guys. I know because I've been through some of those things. And when you say these things, people look at you like, oh, how can I be happy when I've lost my marriage? How can I be happy when I lost my son and my mom? But, okay, what is good of being sad all the time? I'm not saying to forget those loved ones or those things, but what good does it bring to you to always live in fear and in tears? So we might as well enjoy while we can still breathe. Imagine you have eyes, you can still walk, you have your breath, and someone is, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Some people are on the wheelchairs and everything, some can't walk. So in this world, when we are clouded by negativity that we consume through Twitter, especially Twitter and all these things, we don't see anything positive. That is why it is difficult for us to have hope, to see possibilities in that, because we are always thinking about, what if I die tomorrow? What if bang tula? What if bang bang binkoons? What if maybe I might get raped and everything? Yes, there's those things, but guys, let us rejoice, be thankful, and be mindful, be careful where we go and who we talk to. And to everyone that watched this live, thank you very much. Thank you for subscribing, and God bless you all.
That was so powerful. Thank you so much, Samari. We can't wait to have you back. We love you and we wish you all the best. And let us flatten the curve, guys. We need to go back and work. We need to go back and be able to live whatever the new normal is going to present to us. As always, I love you and I wish you all the best. Tomorrow at 7 p.m., we have Dr. Mnguni back with us. And tomorrow, uzobe echaza amaphupho. So if you have any dreams that you want to be explained, Dr. Mnguni will be here tomorrow at 7 p.m. Bring your dreams, please. Not wet dreams. Please don't come here with your wet dreams. We're talking about serious dreams. I love you guys. Have a very beautiful week starting, and all the best.
Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos. Subscription is free. Mahala.